The riff rundown. Today's episode is pre-recorded. Been doing quite a bit of traveling these days. Don't worry, we're gonna have a ton of fun. This one geared towards my intermediates, I would say. Today we're gonna be learning Time by Hootie and the Blowfish. I have gotten a ton of requests for this one. Talk about a nostalgic 90s tune. This is one of them. Again, we're gonna be learning this song chord by chord, note by note, all of that good stuff. Have an electric guitar today in standard tuning. If you have an acoustic, it'll sound great too. So either one, whichever one you are more comfortable with, bring it on over. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So again, those of you who've tuned in before, you know I like to ask a question before we get started. So let me know where you're tuning in from and a song when you immediately hear it and it just brings back a lot of nostalgia. I know when I hear this one, especially that beginning riff, I get nostalgic. So let me know of a song that brings you that sense of nostalgia. All right, so where you're tuning in from, nostalgia. And again, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps the cause. So electric or acoustic guitar in standard tuning. And let's go ahead and do this. Here's Time by Hootie and the Blowfish. Today. So let's go ahead and get started. So at the top, we have this iconic intro, right? We're going between two chords here, say a D major and an E minor 7. So I'm gonna play this riff just a little bit slower than I did at the top. So that's gonna sound like this. I'll do that again. Incredibly catchy, incredibly melodic. Such a great line. So let me show you how to do it. We're gonna break this up into two sections. Let's go with the first part first. So what we've got here, I want you to pretend like you're gonna play a full-on D major chord, right, with all three of these fingers. But what I want you to do is lift that middle finger out of the way. We're not gonna need that F sharp there that lives on the second fret of the E string. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play the open D string. We're gonna go ahead and play that A note, second fret of that G string. And then that D note that lives here on the third fret of the B string. We're gonna play those in that order. So far, so good. All right, let's go ahead and do that again. Okay, the next part of this riff is when we're leaning into that E minor 7. That's gonna sound like this. Okay, got a little fun hammer on at the top here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lift that first finger. Okay, we're gonna place it just on top of that second fret of the D string. But first we're gonna let the D string play open. And we're gonna hammer on that first finger at the second fret of that D string, which is our E note. Just like that. Now notice, keeping that third finger right there on the D note, right there on the third fret of the B string. So we've got the hammer on at the second fret of the D string, open G string, D note right here, B string. Now place your fourth finger, or pinky finger, on that third fret of the high E string, that's our G note, and then strike the D note. I'll do that without the commentary, nice and slow. Playing the right note, of course. Open D string, hammer on. Just like that. Let's go ahead and do that again. And one more time. Just like that. Let's combine it with part 1, that D chord. Here we go. that's what we've got there. Let's go ahead and bring just a little bit more speed into the mix. Remember, we can't play anything fast, we can't play slow. So let's bring the pace up just a little, but still slow enough that we can get the riff down. Here we go. Too bad, right? It's kind of fun. So part 2, very similar, sounds like this. It's pretty much the only thing here that's different is we're not going back to that D note at the end. We're ending at the high G note there. So I'm going to play that nice and slowly. It's going to sound like this. This is part 2. So we play that D chord, D, A, D, hammer on at the D string, 2nd fret, G string, B string, E string. Without the commentary. And that's part 2, okay? So let's go ahead and do part 2. A couple times, then we'll combine it with part 1. And again, if you're enjoying lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause. Part 2. And again. Let's combine with part 1. Here we go. Part 1. Part 2. Repeat. One more time. Now play it a little bit faster. And that's that intro. We're going to see this riff a ton. It is sprinkled all over the song. Why? It's so incredibly catchy. Great, great song. So that's what's happening there. That's our intro. And lucky for us here, this is also a big part of our verse. So the part where he goes, time, why you punish me, it's the same thing. Great line. So from there, we do that verse, and we're going to repeat that intro riff 8 times. Now, we're going to go into the pre-chorus, and the pre-chorus sounds like this. I'll play it just a little slower than I did at the top. There's that intro riff. Our pre-chorus. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So we're going to open with an A sus2 chord. I love sus2, sus4 chords. They're great. They're really, really wonderful to use, and they use it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this A sus2. We're going to use our 2nd or our 3rd finger. Place your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, it's your E note, and then your 3rd finger, go ahead and place that on the 2nd fret of the G string, so that's an A note. What we're going to do here, striking the open A string to that D string, to the G string, back to the D string. If we're talking notes, right, I like to throw in theory, and I want to make sure you guys aren't scared of the fretboard. It's good to know where these notes live. Okay, so we have A, E, A, E. first part. Let's play it slowly. From there, let's go ahead and do that again. The second part of this chord, what we're going to do, open E string to the B string, to the second fret of the G string, to the open B string. Now, play it a little bit slowly. That sounds like this. When combined with part one, that's what it sounds like. Let's do that nice and slowly, shall we? Here we go. A sus2. Again. And once more. Now a little bit faster. Really cool way to voice that chord. Love that chord, all right? From there, we're gonna play a G chord. What we're gonna do here is, we're gonna play it like this. We're gonna use our second finger, placing that on the third fret of the E string. It's our G note, okay? Then the third finger here on the D note, third fret of the B string, and your pinky finger on the G, third fret of the high E string. Okay, so we're gonna play that chord like this. We don't really need the B in this spot for this chord. Here's how this sounds. I'll do that again slowly. And here's how we play it. Go ahead and play the G note first, third fret of the E string. So far, so good. Okay. Then we're going to play the open D string to G string to D string again. Let's play that section together. Here we go. Nice and slowly here. Again. And alternate picking. Crucial with this song. Let's do that again. Second half of this, we're going to start with that G note, but all the way up here, third fret of the high E string. Now it's going to sound like this. E note or E string, B string, open G string to B string. If we're talking notes, G, D, G, D. Let those ring, let those notes blend into one another. It's fabulous, okay? So let's break that down again nice and slowly here. And let's go ahead and combine it with the first half of that G chord. Nice and slowly. Remember, can't play anything fast, we can't play slow. Take your time, enjoy the journey. It is a wonderful thing being a student. I'm still a student too. And enjoy the journey. It's good to go slow and really understand what you're playing, thinking about the notes, thinking about the positioning of the chords, and all of these parts working together. Okay, so take your time. Always a good thing. Just like that. Now, let's go ahead and put it next to A sus2. Okay, and again, we're still in that pre-chorus, so here we go. Nice and slowly, A sus2. G. Again, A sus2 to G. G. Let's go ahead and do that once more. And this time, let's go ahead and add that intro riff in there too. Here we go. shall we? Here we go. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. I know the lesson is pre-recorded today, but I do read the comments, and let me know how everyone's getting along with this. All right, so next we're gonna have the E minor 7. And all we're gonna do here, okay? So that's gonna sound like this. Okay, we're not playing like the whole chord, we're just playing some of the notes here. So we're gonna start with the open E string to the B note here, second fret of the A string, open G string to open D string. Okay, let's play that nice and slowly here together. Really dark and ominous. It's kind of cool. Okay, so that's the first half. Very dark. Once we get to the next half of this E minor 7 chord, things really lift up quite nicely, and that sounds like this. Just like we did in the G major chord just before, okay? So same thing, E string, okay, B string, open G string to the B string. If we're talking notes, G, D, G, D. So here we go with that E minor 7. Again, let's take our time, nice and slow. Let's do that again. And again. And notice how I'm letting all this stuff ring. This is a good thing. Let's bump up the speed a little bit. Pretty cool, right? So after that, we're going to go to this A sus4 to an A major. And then we go into our intro riff yet again, so the dynamics kind of build up. Okay, so what we're going to do there in A sus4, all right, since we're here, I'm choosing to play it like this so I can keep that pivot finger right on that D note there. I'm choosing to do this. Could you put your first finger flat? You could. So I'll leave that up to you, whatever feels more comfortable for you. I kind of like to put the 2 fingers there, but totally your call. All right, so we're going to do here open A string. I've got my first finger here on the 2nd fret of the D string, that's an E note, and then my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, which is A. And then from there, I'm playing, okay, that B string there, D note, back to that A note, 2nd fret of the G string. And to me, it sounds like they just hit that C sharp, the 2nd fret of the B string. If you wanted to strum it, that would sound great too. So here's what that sounds like together. Okay, and just moving that 3rd finger back, or if you want to strum the chord. Or if you wanted to hold it down like this with that 1st finger, you could do that too. That might work a lot better for some of you. Totally okay. Try both options out. See what works best for you. Okay, so just like that, and then we would go into the intro riff. So let's go ahead and do that entire pre-chorus yet again. And also too, talking about the Fishman pickups that I'm using here, as far as the settings go, I'm in the neck position. I've got the Fishman Fluence here. Neck position, my tone, first tone knob is turned to 3. My 2nd tone knob is turned all the way off. I was listening to the song, and it's as close as I can get to the tone that we were getting here. And then as far as my volume goes, I'm at about 8. So those of you, tone tone folks out there, that's what's happening. And I'm going through a Princeton Reverb 65 reissue with an Alnico speaker, for those of you who want to know. But yeah. So that's what's happening there. Let's go through the pre-chorus. Here we go. A sus2. G. Intro riff. E minor 7. A sus4. A intro riff. So that covers a ton of ground. From there we go into verse 2 and verse 3. Intro riff, folks, that's it. So we repeat that again. And guess what? Pre-chorus, repeated yet again. Now from there we get into our chorus. Our chorus sounds like this. We're going to be doing a little strumming. Great. Very similar to what we were doing in the pre-chorus. So let me show you that. So as far as the chorus goes, we're going to be repeating D to E minor 7 4 times. So we've got our D major, D, F sharp, and A, right, our tonal centers. Then to an E minor 7. So you can think of it, at least me, I like to think of it as like the cousin of G major, right? We've got a regular G major chord like this, but for E minor 7, all we're going to do is place our second finger on the second fret of the D string, which is an E. We're going to strum everything here. Pretty cool chord. So as far as the notes here, we have an E, we have a G, we have a D, or we have a B, and then we have a D note as well. Okay, so those are the two. E minor 7, D. And listen to the song for the timing of it. The strumming, it flows really nicely. And as you can see here, using my third finger as a pivot point between these two chords, the D and the E minor 7, all right, because they both share a D note. From there, we go to an A major chord. Now, I like to play my A major chord like this. There are many different ways that you could do this. I'll leave it up to you. I like to play it like this. Okay, so second fret of the D string, G string, and B string, A, C sharp, and E. Okay, and from there, we go to our trusty G chord. It looked like when I was watching the live videos that they were playing the 4-fingered version of this G chord, but whichever one you like better, I'll leave that up to you, okay? So here's that chorus so far. Repeated 4 times, D to E minor 7. Intro riff. From there, we go to an E minor 7. Again, look at the pivot points here. 3rd and 4th fingers, okay? Leave them at the 3rd fret of the B and E string respectively. E minor 7. From there, you could do an A sus4 to an A. So let me show you that A sus4 chord again. You can choose to play it like this. First finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, that's E. Second finger, 2nd fret of the G string, that's an A. And then your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, which is a D note. And then back to that A. All we're doing there is we're moving that D note and we're making it a C sharp. It's good stuff. All right, so let's play that whole chorus. Here we go. E minor 7. that's what's happening in our chorus. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and look at the bridge or the guitar solo. We've got one bar chord here, but it's not too bad. It's a B minor. So the guitar solo sounds like this. So we're going to do there that B minor chord. We're going to go ahead and put our first finger across the second fret of the A through the high E string. From there, get your second finger placing that on the third fret of that D string, okay, or the B note, which is a D, B string, D note. There we go. How to think about that one. Third finger here, fourth fret of the D string, okay, F sharp, pinky finger, fourth fret of the G string. That's our B note. Notice, can't see my thumb. The second I put my thumb over, notice how my hand completely shrivels. That we don't want. So those of you who have like a Strat or like a Fender electric, you'll see that there's a skunk stripe, and some other models do that too. Placing your thumb around that skunk stripe area, particularly on it or just below it, will give that hand enough of that good grip to play those bar chords. From there, we go from A to G. The next part is going to be B minor to A to D. Not too bad. Okay, so here it is. Slowed down to G. B minor, A to D. Let's do that again without the commentary. We're going to go between G and A 3 times. And then from there, we go into a chorus. After that chorus, we've got a verse, we got another pre-chorus, and then we have a chorus, and then we have the intro riff again, and then the outro riff, which is the intro riff, and then we end the song on a nice, big, strong, open D chord there. Again, a really fun song, nostalgic tune. This is just such a well-written song, so melodic, so great. I encourage you, if you haven't heard this song, go and listen back to it. I love the dynamics of this song. Again, it's just great storytelling and great production and writing. It's just a wonderful song. And again, such a nostalgic riff. It's so great. Again, I want to thank my friends at Fishman for helping me run these lessons week after week. And a huge thank you to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being so kind to one another. I see how uplifting all of you are with each other in the comments. I love this community we've built here on the Riff Rundown. Let's continue the good vibes. I'm loving it. Music brings people together, and it's wonderful that this is just such a beautiful, positive space that we have here at the Riff Rundown. So thank you all very much for just being so awesome and so great. Also, too, I announced with my friends in Zepparella this week that I will be filling in for my friend Gretchen Menn as she does this really awesome show in Utah, and you can check out my social media and seeing when I'll be in a town near you playing some Zeppelin songs with my dear friends in Zepparella. So I'll be playing these next 4 months some shows with them and filling in for my friend Gretchen. So it's going to be a lot of fun. As always, wishing you all so much success in your musical journey. It's been such a blast. So thank you all very much. Have fun with this one, and